So, being that I never played Animal Jam, I came into fer.al not having a clue how to trade, and as the game is currently without a wiki worth, it's very hard to judge what is a fair trade and how to effectively trade up to rare items. So today, I'm making a guide to help you trade up and fairly in fer.al. So to start off, I'm going to be dividing the game's items into categories pertinent for trading. Firstly, we have an item that is so important to the current fer.al economy that it gets its own category, the Lockpick. This is because currently in the game, likes, the main in-game currency, can't be traded between players. Thus, there is a need for a somewhat universal currency to trade with, something everyone needs and that can't be easily grinded in an unlimited amount. Thus, given that the lockpicks generally only spawn every rotation, they make for an excellent form of currency in the game. The next category of item is the shop items. Shop items generally are worthless, with a few exceptions such as some expensive items that require an enigma, like the Dark Art Sorcerer's Hat, which is mostly expensive because it takes 10 void beetles to craft. But aside from those few exceptions, crafted items are cool to wear but won't get you very far in a trade. And even then, many of the established players will refuse to trade for any craftable items as their values are very volatile and regularly changed based on rotations. The second category is mats, which is short for materials. Generally, all non-rare materials, other than a few exceptions like Delite and black market mats, are mostly worthless. So I'm mostly just discussing rare mats. Generally, these rare mats are worth half a lockpick, i.e. you would trade 2 for 1 lockpick if they are in the current rotation, and they're worth 2 lockpicks if they're not available in the current rotation. But there are, of course, some exceptions, i.e. void beetles. Now, on to minigame items. Minigame items are, as you might have guessed, items you get from playing minigames. These items come from What the Hex, Do or Die, and Twiggle Builders. However, Twiggle Builders items are usually worth the least, and What the Hex items are generally worth the most. Also, complete sets like the Brittle Armor and Helmet, or the complete Space Theme set in Twiggle Builders, or the complete Fortune Teller set in What the Hex, will usually fetch a better price than the items would on their own. Generally, you can trade dies and What the Hex clothes for a couple lockpicks apiece, and a couple Twiggle Builder items for a lockpick, unless it's a full set. Next, we have chest/quest items. These are items that constitute what I understand, given that I never really played Animal Jam, as your spikes or whatnot. The closest direct equivalent, according to many players, are the Onyx Quills, items which also happen to form a full set of very pokey items. Anyway, the quest/chest items are as valuable as they are because every player can generally only get a maximum of 1 of each of these items if they were active and completed the chests/quests during the time that these items were available, which makes them especially rare. As well, they generally gain value over time, making them usually a pretty solid investment, and are generally what most players hope to be able to trade up to. Lastly, we have the highest tier. This tier has only 2 items in it, these being the Ichimagasa and Toadhunter Shawl. These items were only available for a short while, the Toadhunter Shawl being an insanely rare chest item, and the Ichimagasa being a very rare shop item that was discontinued. Basically, no one is willing to trade these items, whilst at the same time almost everyone wants them, making their value insane. Most players, like myself, will only be able to dream of having one of these items unless they get re-released in a later update. This mostly covers the different categories of items as they pertain to trading/value. Hopefully I didn't miss anything important, but with so many items, it's hard to fit all the items into just a few brief categories. Anyway, now we are on to the strategy. My personal recommendation is to try and focus on trading up and keeping your quest/chest items to yourself, but some players are very good at trading up with their quest/chest items. Personally though, that just isn't for me, so if you're looking for advice on that, you're not going to get it here. But if you want to be able to trade up from easy to grind items to eventual rares, then this is the guide for you. My personal recommendation is to grind for rare mats and minigame items early on, and once you have a good quantity and selection, you can advertise your rare items in Farah City. On a side note, alternatively, you can advertise in the Shattered Bay, which was meant for traders, but currently there is no one there, so I recommend Farah City for trading. Then, regularly advertise mats and minigame items as available in exchange for lockpicks, as well as watch for other players looking for the items you have on your trade list. Once you've traded for enough lockpicks, you can make offers to other traders for quest/chest items. Most of the very experienced players are willing to trade quest/chest items in their trade list for a price in lockpicks, ranging, in my experience, between 25 and 50 lockpicks for most of the quest/chest items. However, older quest and chest items, especially those from the 3rd and 4th waves of beta testing, can sometimes trade for 50 to 75 lockpicks, rare variations of which sometimes trading at up to 100 lockpicks, which on a side note is the maximum you can trade in one go of the same item, because the counter maxes at 99 plus. When you have 100 or more of an item, it makes it so that the other party can't tell exactly how many of the item you're trading, other than that it's greater than 100, which means that if the item you're trying to trade for is somehow worth more than 100 lockpicks, then it will probably be required that you trade some of your lockpicks for other rares, then combine the rares with the lockpicks to reach the full value. Anyway, I hope this sums up and helps clarify how the current feral economy operates. If you found this video helpful, please leave a like. It helps the channel out a lot. And if there's something I missed or messed up in my video, please leave it in the comments below. And if you'd like to see more feral videos like this, don't forget to subscribe. Anyway, thank you so much for watching, and I guess I'll see y'all in the expanse.